Have you ever wondered why after 40 your belly refuses to go away? Even when you count every calorie, skip dinner, and spend your last strength on exercise machines? You can try dozens of diets, but your waist still vanishes, and your favorite jeans begin to cut into your sides. We are used to thinking that a slowed metabolism or an age-related hormonal failure is to blame, something that cannot be fought without strict restrictions. But what if I told you that Japanese women after 40 maintain a slim waist and a flat stomach not through exhausting diets, calorie counting, or hour-long runs? The secret that allows them to look toned and energetic at any age lies in things that in our Western world are not even commonly considered. Today I will tell you in detail about a system that changes the concept of rejuvenation and weight loss forever. By following this explanation to the very end, you will not only understand the mechanism of fat accumulation on the belly, but also learn an unobvious yet powerful daily ritual of Japanese women that turns on visceral fat burning even while you rest after a hard workday. Every woman after 35 or 40 sooner or later faces the need to balance 100 tasks. Work, reports, calls, endless household chores, childcare, checking homework, cooking, and trying to give at least 5 minutes to a spouse or oneself. By evening you feel completely drained, but instead of deserved deep sleep, your brain continues to spin a list of unresolved tasks. Here begins the most interesting part. You notice that usual food suddenly starts settling right in the abdominal area. A month passes, then another, and the waist fold becomes more noticeable. You begin cutting your ration, refusing favorite bread or sweets, but the belly goes nowhere. Seems to live its own life. What is the reason? In our society, it is customary to blame a simple excess of calories. We are told from all sides to eat less and move more. But this formula stops working after 40, and here is why. Our body under constant stress begins operating completely differently. When you are torn between work and family, your body perceives this as a state of constant threat. In response, the adrenal glands actively secrete the stress hormone cortisol. Imagine cortisol as a strict foreman at your body's construction site. Its main evolutionary goal is to save you from hunger and danger. It takes incoming energy and sends it to the safest storage from its perspective, our abdominal cavity. Fat deposited around internal organs is called visceral fat. Cortisol accumulates it literally out of thin air, even if you follow a strict diet. Japanese women approach this problem from an entirely different angle. Japanese culture lacks the concept of sharp diets or strict restrictions that drive the body into greater stress. In Japan, it is known that to remove belly fat, you must first calm the nervous system and disable this emergency storage mode. Consider typical morning chaos in an average family. Waking up to an alarm, frantically getting children ready for school while preparing yourself, drinking hot coffee on an empty stomach to open your eyes, and rushing to work. The body has not even awakened, yet cortisol spikes to the sky. Coffee on an empty stomach triggers even greater stress hormone release and sharply raises blood sugar, followed by an inevitable energy crash by 11 a.m. At that moment, you reach for cookies or candy because the brain demands quick fuel. In Japan, morning begins differently. This does not take much time, as Japanese women work no less and raise children similarly. However, they have a foundational rule called Hara Hachi Bu, and a special morning routine taking just a couple of minutes. Before taking a single sip of coffee or tea, a Japanese woman drinks a glass of warm water near body temperature. This is not just hydration. Warm water gently awakens the gastrointestinal tract, stimulates bile flow, and signals to the nervous system that everything is fine, no danger exists, food will arrive, and there is no need to save or store fat. Next comes the principle of Hara Hachi Bu. This ancient wisdom translates simply: eat until you are 80% full. Imagine your stomach as a kitchen blender. If you fill a blender with fruit to the brim and close the lid, it cannot process the contents effectively. The blades jam, the motor overheats, and the output is non-uniform. Our stomach functions identically. When we eat to full satiety, digestion slows, food becomes difficult to process, enzymes are lacking, and the body sends unprocessed resources to fat stores. Japanese women leave the table with a light feeling that they could eat a couple more spoons. Within 10 to 15 minutes, the signal from the stomach reaches the brain, bringing comfortable satiety without heaviness or the urge to lie down. You might ask how to stop overeating if after a hard day at work a satisfying dinner is the primary comfort. This brings us to the second major secret concerning food structure and combining products. This alters conventional ideas about healthy eating. Later I will detail a superfood found in every Japanese kitchen that directly impacts belly fat burning. But first, let us examine the plate structure. A typical Western lunch or dinner contains a large portion of carbohydrates, such as pasta, potatoes, or rice, with a piece of meat and perhaps a small amount of vegetables. When this food enters the body, blood glucose spikes. The pancreas releases a large dose of insulin. Insulin acts as a transport hormone carrying glucose into cells. If cells do not need that much energy, since after dinner people usually sit on the couch, insulin locks the cell doors and converts excess glucose into fat. While insulin levels remain high, fat burning is physically blocked. You can perform any exercises, but fat will not leave while insulin surges in the blood. A Japanese meal follows the Ichijisansai principle, meaning 1 soup, 3 dishes. It sounds like a complex restaurant set, but requires minimal cooking time. The main secret lies in eating order and plate composition. Japanese women never start with carbohydrates. The first items entering the stomach are fiber and fermented foods, followed by proteins and fats, and lastly carbohydrates. Why is this sequence critical? Imagine your stomach as a filter. When you eat a portion of vegetables or salad first, fiber lines the intestinal walls, creating a gel cushion. When carbohydrates arrive afterward, this gel cushion prevents sugars from rapidly absorbing into the bloodstream. As a result, glucose levels rise smoothly without sharp peaks. The pancreas releases only as much insulin as needed for current activity. Without an insulin spike, fat does not accumulate at the waist. You can consume the same volume of food, but changing the sequence fundamentally alters your body's hormonal response. This leads directly to posture and breathing. This element is rarely discussed regarding weight loss, yet for women after 40, it plays a decisive role. Consider how you sit at a desk or on the couch scrolling through your phone after a hard day. Shoulders rounded forward, chest compressed, neck extended toward the screen, and the abdomen relaxed and protruding. In this position, diaphragm muscles are constricted, and deep abdominal muscles forming your natural corset disengage completely. When the diaphragm is blocked, shallow breathing occurs using only the upper chest. Shallow breathing signals danger and oxygen deficiency to the body, stimulating further cortisol release. The cycle closes. With a weak deep muscle corset, internal organs shift slightly downward and forward. Consequently, even thin women develop a protruding belly because internal organs are not held by the abdominal wall. Japanese women pay significant attention to posture and proper breathing from childhood. Japan utilizes a system of micro-exercises and body alignment that requires no gym visits or dedicated hours. They practice diaphragmatic or deep abdominal breathing during simple daily activities: boiling tea, walking from the car to the house, or sitting in meetings. How does this work physiologically? Deep abdominal inhalation lowers the diaphragm, gently massaging internal organs and improving pelvic circulation. Exhaling slightly pulls the navel toward the spine, activating the transverse abdominis. The transverse abdominis is the deepest layer of the abdominal wall, acting like natural shapewear. When toned, this muscle keeps the stomach flat and the waist narrow, even with a small layer of subcutaneous fat. Deep diaphragmatic breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, reducing cortisol and switching the body from fight or flight to rest and digest mode. Within this state of rest and lower cortisol, the body releases visceral fat. Consider sleep and how night habits shape your figure. For a working woman of 40, full sleep often seems like an unattainable luxury. Sleep is sacrificed to finish household tasks, watch a show, or enjoy quiet time after children are asleep. It feels like taking time from sleep for family or personal interests, but it deals a heavy blow to the waistline. Sleeping fewer than 7 hours or experiencing fragmented sleep causes hormonal disruption. The next day, ghrelin, the hormone driving hunger, increases by 30 to 40%. Meanwhile, leptin, the hormone signaling satiety, drops sharply. You wake up with intense cravings for simple carbohydrates and fatty foods. The brain attempts to compensate for lack of sleep energy through quick food sources. Willpower struggles against this hormonal state. Japan values sleep culture highly. Alongside concepts like inamuri, Japanese women observe sleep hygiene that affects somatotropin production growth hormone. In adults, growth hormone manages tissue regeneration, skin elasticity, and nocturnal lipolysis, fat breakdown. Peak secretion occurs between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. during deep sleep phases. If you remain awake then, or if your stomach is loaded with a heavy dinner, growth hormone production drops. Instead of burning fat during sleep, your body expends energy trying to digest late food. Returning to nutrition, let us review the Japanese secret mentioned earlier. Consider why Japanese diets feature few traditional dairy products, yet exhibit high health and longevity metrics. The secret lies in fermented foods and gut microbiome health. International scientific research confirms that gut bacteria composition influences whether a body leans toward weight gain or stays lean. Individuals carrying extra belly fat often host gut bacteria strains that extract maximum calories from food, while provoking low-grade systemic inflammation. This inflammation reduces cellular insulin sensitivity, causing fat to accumulate on the waist. The Japanese diet incorporates natural probiotics and prebiotics. Miso paste, natto, and tsukimono fermented vegetables are consumed daily. Fermented food supplies billions of beneficial bacteria, producing short-chain fatty acids. These fatty acids send satiety signals to the brain, lower systemic inflammation, and improve tissue insulin sensitivity. You do not need to hunt for specialized Japanese products or overhaul your menu entirely. The core principle matters. Sugar-free sauerkraut, fermented apples, or high-quality natural yogurt operate through similar mechanisms. Adding 2 spoons of sauerkraut to your daily lunch before the main dish can transform your microbiome within weeks. This simple step requires minimal expense or time, while assisting against age-related fat accumulation. Another aspect of the Japanese approach involves non-exercise activity. Many modern women believe weight loss requires buying a gym membership and training to exhaustion 3 times a week. Yet combining work, family, chores, and fatigue makes evening workouts an added stressor. After 2 weeks of intense strain, burnouts frequently occur, followed by guilt and weight gain cycles. Japanese women rarely frequent traditional gyms in the Western sense. Instead, they leverage NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, energy spent on ordinary daily tasks. They walk frequently, take stairs, move during household cleaning, and use functional daily stretches. Burning visceral fat does not require record exertion. It requires regular, low-intensity movement, keeping your heart rate within the fat-burning zone, where you can walk and converse without gasping. A brisk 20 to 30-minute walk after work yields better results for your waistline than rare, exhaustive workouts. Such walks lower cortisol, clear excess blood glucose, and gently tone muscles without physical stress. Consider the evening water ritual that Japanese women utilize daily. This step supports body transformation without harsh routines. This secret centers on water and evening relaxation. Japan maintains a culture of warm baths known as ofuro. Physiology explains its effectiveness for belly fat reduction. Soaking in a warm bath at 38 to 40 degrees Celsius, 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, for 15 to 20 minutes relaxes skeletal muscles and expands peripheral blood vessels. Upon stepping out of the bath, internal body temperature gradually cools. This drop in core temperature acts as a primary biological trigger for deep, restorative sleep and melatonin release. Research indicates that a regular evening warm bath an hour before sleep reduces cortisol levels by nearly 30% and increases deep sleep duration by a quarter. During deep sleep, the body actively processes visceral fat, restores skin elasticity, and balances hunger hormones. A relaxing evening procedure contributes significantly to waistline management compared to forced abdominal crunches. Here is a summary of a balanced day following these principles without drastically disrupting your life. In the morning, drink a glass of warm water to signal safety to your body. Begin meals with vegetables or fermented foods, transitioning to proteins and carbohydrates, and finish eating just before full satiety. Throughout the day, practice several deep abdominal breaths when feeling desk tension, relaxing your shoulders and engaging your core. In the evening, take a short outdoor walk and take a relaxing warm bath before bed for full recovery. This approach requires no severe diets, exhausting workouts, or strict calorie tracking. It relies on respecting physical physiology, lowering stress, and aligning with natural biological rhythms. The result is a flatter stomach, increased energy, healthy skin, improved sleep, and sustainable well-being.